our lesson 5, which is coping with stress. So let us define first stress. So stress, it is simply a reaction to a stimulus that disturbs our physical or mental equilibrium. In other words, it's an omnipresent part of life. So when we say omnipresent part of life, so it happens to us daily. So every now and then we experience stress. So, it is widespread or constantly encountered. So, pag sinabi nating omnipresence, so, ano siya? Constantly encountered and it is widespread. So, ano pa ba yung mga constantly na na-encounter ninyo everyday aside sa stress? So, maybe you also have the being happy or overthinking. So, they are constantly encountered. We all know that stress is part of growing up, so you may feel pressure in everything you do, both home and in school. So, dirty clothes, lost a SIM card, a broken cell phone, a failed examination, a misunderstanding with parent, a conflict with a friend, or a conflict with your boyfriends or girlfriends. And idadagdag pa natin sa online class naman, di ba? So, lost connection, hindi makakonect. So, those are part of your daily stressors. So, all of these are stressors or the causes of your stress in life. So, you experience stress when you respond to stressors that you perceive to exceed your capabilities. So, sinasabi nila na mai-stress ka daw kapag feeling mo hindi mo na kaya yung mga naiisip mo. So, it exceeds our capabilities. So, sinabi nga, capabilities. So, kapag sinabi nilang capabilities, yung kakayanan mo. So, yung stress daw, nangyayari siya kapag yung isang bagay, alam mong hindi mo na siya kaya. So, that is your stressor. You as a teenager, sometimes yung stress naman, nasa good side siya. So, for example, stress can also motivate you to work harder to get what you want, sabi nila. So, for example, no, you were negatively criticized sa ginawa mo or you were negatively criticized sa grades mo. You were negatively criticized sa drawing mo, sa essay mo. So, you will feel bad about it. But because you spend several hours drafting and revising your essay, so ang gagawin mo, pagbubutihan mo. So, ang gagawin mo, sa next job mo, sa next work mo, sa next drawing mo, sa next exam mo, pagbubutihan mo. So, 'di ba? So, yung experience mo na 'yon dahil na-stress ka sa sinabi nila, dahil na-stress ka na sinabihan nilang hindi maganda yung gawa mo, ang gagawin mo, imo-motivate mo yung sarili mo para patunayan na kaya ko, may mas hihigit pa sa ginawa ko or gagawin ko. So, 'di ba? There's a good and bad side pagdating sa stress. So, there's a good stress and there's a bad stress. So, ayun. Ang tinatawag daw nila dito, eustress. So, yung eustress daw, it is when you find creative solutions to your concerns. So, it is your motivation. So, kapag daw namomotivate ka, kapag gumagawa ka ng solution, if you are being creative after being criticized and after being stressed, so that is called eustress. As per Hans Selye, it's not stress that kills us. It is our reaction to it. Tama. So, hindi naman ang stressor ang pumapatay sa atin. Hindi naman yung stressor ang nagpapa-overthink sa atin. Ito yung reaction natin. So, you as a teenager, I want you to find a solution. I want you to create a solution to be motivated para yung stress natin ma-convert siya sa stress. So, wag po tayong magpapakain sa mga stress natin. So, we all know na ngayong may online class kayo, lahat ng stress nararanasan ninyo. So, sa part din po namin, we are also experiencing stress. But we are converting it to eustress. So, I hope na kayo din po, you will convert it, you will be creative and motivated. We have different ways on how are you going to manage your stress. But first, you have to know what are the causes and effect of stress in your body. So, you have to know what are your stressors. So, there's external stressors and internal stressors. Kapag sinabi nating external stressors, ito yung mga nanggagaling sa labas, nanggagaling sa environment mo, or nanggagaling sa paligid mo. Yung naman internal stressors, so it is within you. Ano yung naiisip mo? So if you are overthinking something na alam mong hindi naman mangyayari, but you keep thinking about it. So that is your internal stressors. So you have to know first, ano nga ba yung stressors mo and what are the causes and effect of this. So these are the causes and effects of stress. So as you can see, no, medyo madami rin sila. So there's a variety and range of emotions you might experience. So there's this anxiety, there's this pressure, there's this misery, strain, desperation, tension, anger, panic, and dejection. So these are the causes and effect of stress. So minsan, we are feeling pressured. So we are feeling tense. Sometimes we are angry. So we are experiencing panic attack. Those are the effect of stress, 'di ba? So kapag stress ka, sometimes you will feel na parang may eye strain ka, yung parang pagod na pagod yung mata mo. So yung iba naman kapag stress sila, they will feel na parang ang bigat ng balikat nila, sumasakit ang ulo. So those are the effects of stress. So remember, prolonged stress can be devastating. So yung mga prolonged stress, so nagli-lead siya sa burnout, sa breakdown, sa depression. So yung tatlong ito, medyo pang long term na yung result ng stress sa kanila. So it is because they did not manage their stress carefully. So kapag nafe-feel mo na medyo stress ka, or kapag nafe-feel mo na yung mga effect ng stress sa katawan mo, you have to rest. So ayun, yung rest, kailangan na kailangan natin siya sa buhay natin. So, you as a teenager, you need to rest as well. So, you need to have a specific time of studying. Or, at least, if you're studying, meron dapat kayong gap each and every subject. So, for example, 30 minutes na nakatutok kayo sa screen or 1 hour na nakatutok kayo sa screen. So, you need to rest your eyes. You need to rest your brains after that online conference. Kasi ano bang gusto ninyo? Magre-rest kayo sa bahay o magre-rest in peace? 'Di ba? You choose. So ayun, yun ang causes and effect ng stress sa katawan natin. So kailangan mong malaman, kailangan mong makita kung ano ba yung effect ng stress sa sarili mo. And in that way, kapag nafe-feel mo na yung effect sa'yo, makakapag-rest ka na. Gagawa ka na ng intervention kung paano mo mamamanage yung stress mo. And for example, yung effect ng stress sa'yo, yun nga yung sumasakit ang ulo mo, or you're feeling a panic attack, or feeling na eye strain, or mabigat ang balikat, or you're feeling pressured. So, ayun, dun ka na magre-rest. So, yun yung parang go signal mo for you to rest. So, ito pa yung ibang nagpapastress sa buhay natin. So, number 1, everyday frustrations causes stress build up. So, when we say everyday frustrations, ito yung pagkagising mo pa lang, stress ka na. Pagkagising mo pa lang, problema na agad ang sasalubong sa'yo. So, if it is unmanaged, so kapag hindi mo siya nasolusyonan agad-agad, it can build up stress. So, magpo-prolong siya every day. So, yung mga, ano pa ba yung mga everyday stress na nai-experience ninyo as a teenager? So, maybe, yung stress sa mga gawaing bahay, di ba? Sumasabay sa mga gawain sa school. So, that is your everyday frustration. So, that is your everyday stress. So if it is unsolved or if it is unmanaged, it can lead to prolonged stress. So every now and then, pagkagising mo pa lang, yun na yung iniisip mo. So kapag ganun, stress ka na agad, di ba? Pagkagising mo, stress na agad ang sasalubong sa'yo. Number 2, problems in our personal life. So when we say problems in our personal life, ito yung problema sa family. So, problema sa mga kaibigan, sa karelasyon, sa boyfriends or girlfriend. So, pwede rin dito yung loss of loved one or loss of immediate family. So, that is the personal life. So, ano pa ba yung mga personal life na na-experience ninyo? So, it can be devastating. So, when it is devastating, of course, when you are devastated, you will feel anxiety, di ba? So, kanina na pag-usapan natin na yung anxiety, it is cause of stress. So, when you are devastated, when you feel that you are worried or you are having the anxiety, it is because you are stressed. Number 3, a common cause of stress in dealing with life transition. So, yung life transition ninyo as a teenager, yun yung gumraduate kayo from junior high school and then bigla kayong magsi-senior high. So, that is your life transition. So, for now, yun yung nakikita kong transition sa inyo because you're a teenager. So, as you grow up, pwede dito yung biglang yung mag-aasawa ka na, magkakaanak ka. So, that is your life transition. So, ngayon, grade 12 kayo. So, you have to prepare or you need to prepare yourself pagdating naman sa college para hindi naman siya, hindi na makaka-cause ng stress sa inyo yung transition na ma-experience ninyo. So, ngayon pa lang, dapat you have to condition yourself na by next school year, I will be in college. So, ngayon pa lang sineset mo na sa mind mo. So, in that way, you are already creating a solution. So, in that way, you are already managing your future stress. We all have different stress response. So, your stress response is the collection of physiological changes that occur when you face a perceived threat, when you face situations where you feel the demands outweigh your resources to successfully cope. So, these situations are known as stressors. When your stress response is triggered, a series of changes occur within your body. So, dito sa stress response, dito rin pumapasok yung fight or flight. So, I know naririnig nyo na to, no? Yung fight or flight. So, kung, for example, you have this emergency. So, di ba, may mga ibang nagsasabi na kapag daw merong emergency, yung dating hindi naman daw nakakapagbuhat ng mabibigat, bigla niya daw nabubuhat. Yung, for example, yung refrigerator. So, di ba, ganun yung fight or flight. So, itong fight or flight, nagtitrigger siya because we are responding sa stress na nararanasan natin. So, ito nga, di ba, yung perceived threat. So, if we have the perceived threat, nagre-respond yung katawan natin. So, you have to know, paano ba nagre-respond yung katawan mo sa stress? So, yung iba, nagre-respond yung katawan nila through, yun nga, ano bang tawag doon? Yung nag-stress eating ang tawag, di ba? Yung iba naman hindi nakakakain. That is their response sa stress. So, kapag nandyan si stress, so when stress response is triggered, so there's a series of changes occurring in your body. So, yun yung sinasabi nila, yung nandito si fight or flight, meron naman nagsistress eating, merong hindi kumakain, merong hindi nakakatulog, meron namang sumusobra sa tulog. So, that is your response. So, we all have different response pagdating sa stress. And now, we will be moving to how are you going to control your stress. So, there are many effective ways to handle your stress. You can manage your life so that you survive the emotional downtimes without allowing stress to engulf you. So, papasok na tayo sa stress management. Papasok na tayo sa kung paano ninyo i-handle yung stress na nararanasan or nafe-feel ninyo. So, number 1, we have the keep stress under control. So, yun nga. Number 1, understand the causes of stress. So, understanding why you are stressed is important. So, obvious naman po ito na kailangan po nating malaman kung stress po ba tayo or hindi. So, you have to be conscious to yourself. You have to know what are the effects sa katawan mo. Ano ba yung effect ng stress sa katawan mo? So, what are the causes? So, by simply putting attention to it, you will be able to know ano yung stressor mo bago mo naramdaman or bago ka nagkaroon ng effect sa katawan mo. So, you have to know, you have to learn it. So, you have to be conscious about it. Number 2, analyze your stress factors and write them down. So, katulad ng sinabi ko, ano ba yung nagpa-stress sa'yo? So, ano ba yung stressor mo bago mo naramdaman yung effect sa katawan mo? So, you have to write them down. So, for example, yung mga deadlines, so, yun yung mga examinations, quizzes, recitations, di ba? So, yun yung mga simple, as a student, yun yung mga simple stresses mo or stressors mo every day. So, you have to write them down. So, you have to cope them up. You have to embrace them. Number 3, deal with the stressors. So, you have to develop techniques to deal with the cause of stress. So, the longer you avoid dealing with the stress factors, the more stress will build up. So, wag pong tatakbuhan si stressors. Wag pong tatakbuhan si stress. Kailangan yakapin mo, kailangan mahalin mo. Kasi, sabi nga, di ba, kapag minamahal, iniiwan. Pero joke lang. So, let us go back to our lesson. So, if tension comes because you have to put off on unfinished tasks, restructure your priorities so you can get the task that you have been avoiding out of the way and off your mind. So, ang sinasabi dito, how are you going to deal with stress? So, for example, you are running away with the stress. So, you are running away with your deadlines. Diba? Sometimes, you student, madalas po natin gawin yung, okay, wag ko na muna siyang gawin ngayon. That means you are already running away with the stressors. So, how are you going to embrace it? So, you need to restructure your priorities. Ano ba yung priority ko? Ano ba yung dapat kong unahin? Ano ba yung kailangan ko nang tapusin? Diba? So, in that way, may isip mo, okay, so kailangan ko tong unahin. So, tatapusin ko na ito. So, in that way, makikita nyo na, okay, so, day by day, nababawasan na yung stressors ko. Day by day, na-embrace ko na yung stressors ko. Next is, and last, learn to work under pressure or unusual conditions. So, when you can't reduce the stressors, you need to manage your stress response. So, you need to manage how are you going to respond with the stress. So, almost everyone, at least some point, has to meet deadlines, keep several jobs going at once, resolve problems that comes up, and do extra work when necessary. So, we are all experiencing this. So, I know you are ranting na sa Facebook na ang dami-daming pinapagawa ni teacher, sabay-sabay yung mga quizzes, sabay-sabay yung mga activities. You need to learn how to work under pressure, di ba? So, hindi lang po iyan ang stress na mararanasan ninyo pagka-college na kayo and pagka-graduate ninyo. So, ngayon pa lang, practicein nyo na pong mag-work under pressure. So, I know I have the student here who are already working. So, I have a working student here. I want to commend you for learning how to work under pressure. So, yung mga, or yung iba naman, kung hindi naman sila nagwo-work. They have to do household activities. So, yung iba naman, they have to run an errands. So, yung iba naman, nag-aalaga ng kapatid. So, di ba, you are already working under pressure. Napagsasabay-sabay mo na yung task mo, napagsasabay-sabay mo na yung kailangan mong gawin every day. So, I want to congratulate you for dealing with your stressors and embracing them. Relaxation is the key. Kaya nga sinabi ko kanina, you need to rest. So, katuglong or twinning ang dalawang yan. Si relaxation and si rest. So, may mga tips ako na linagay sa module ninyo. We will just read them. So, number 1, you need to stop for a moment, especially when you feel your muscles are tightening up. So, take a deep breath. Number 2, do a relaxing exercise. So, swing your hands at your sides and stretch. So, especially ngayong nag-online class, laging nakaupo, laging nakaharap sa computer or cellphone. So, kailangan po galaw-galaw din pag may time. Take a power nap. So, yung power nap po natin, we can have it during our lunch break. Lie down and totally relax for a few minutes. Find time to do the things you enjoy. So, ano ba yung mga ine-enjoy mo? So, siguro meron dito na magaling mag-drawing, magaling manggitara, kumanta. So, at least find time pa rin to do the things that you want. Leave your study area for a while to take a brisk walk. So, yung brisk walk po natin, sa loob lang po muna ng bahay dahil bawal pa po tayong lumabas. Find a quiet place to read a magazine or novel during your lunch break. If possible, look at some peaceful images such as your forest, beaches, the sky. So, these images can initiate a relaxation response. Look up, keep something humorous on hand, such as a book of jokes. So, these are some tips to relax when under pressure. So, you need to at least do it every day, no? Kahit iilan lang po dito sa mga nabanggit, you have to do it. And they are in your journal. You can reread them anytime you want. We have indicators that you have successfully handled your stress. Understanding the nature of stress and identifying the various strategies on how to deal with your stressors are essential. However, here are some indicators that will help you determine if you are coping well with your stress. So, let us start. Number 1, if you already have the emotional stability. So, when we say emotional stability, ito yung kapag stress na stress ka na, you are still stable. So, you are remain calm and not being carried away by your emotions. Signals a healthy way of coping. So, kapag daw meron kang emotional stability, or kapag stable ka lang, kapag chill ka lang, sabi nga nila, ito yung one way or isang signal to that you are already coping with your stress. Next one, being tactful. So, ang tactful, being able to express your thoughts and feelings in a non-aggressive manner, indicate your capacity to handle stress. So, being tactful, ito yung sinasabi nila na nakakapagsabi ka na ng opinions mo without being angry. So, ito yung you can already share your thoughts and feelings in a non-aggressive manner. So, meron kasing iba na galit agad. Parang ganon, di ba sinasabi nila na galit agad, di ba? So, nag-e-explain lang. So, kapag daw kalma ka lang habang nag-e-explain, habang nag-share ng thoughts or ng feelings, that means you are already being tactful. And that is a signal that you are already handling your stress very well. Number 3, doing well in school. So, your ability to meet all your academic requirements and get high scores. Show your capacity to cope with your various demands of the school. So, this is very important right now. So, kahit stress na stress ka, kung pumapasa ka naman, napapasa mo yung mga academic requirements mo, ibig sabihin, you are already handling your stress very well. And lastly, learning to say no. By being firm on what you believe is right and saying no to peer pressure is a positive sign of being able to cope well with stress. So, hindi po okay or hindi maganda yung lagi mong sinasabi na, okay, sige, gawan tayo, okay, sige, gawin natin to, okay, sige, punta tayo sa ganyan, okay, sige, tulungan kita. So, you need to learn to say no. Because not every time or not all the time you are available. So, wag po tayo magpapadala sa peer pressure. So, kapag nakakatanggi ka na sa mga barkada mo, nakakatanggi ka na sa mga friends mo kapag nag-aaya silang uminom, manigarilyo, lumabas, maglibot. So that is a positive sign of being able to cope up with your stress. So yung iba kasi ginagawang stress reliever yung pag-inom, yung paninigarilyo, yung paglabas ng bahay. So ibig sabihin, hindi pa nila na-handle ng maayos yung stress nila nun. So, kapag natuto ka na magsabi ng hindi sa mga kaibigan mo, ibig sabihin, you are already handling your stress very well. So, these are the 4 indicators that you have successfully handled your stress. And that's it for our lesson 5. I hope you learned something and I hope na you are already coping your stress very well. You are already handling your stress and sana nasa inyo na yung mga indicators that you are already handling your stress. And you are already coping with the stressors in your environment and you are already coping with your stress within you. And yun. Thank you. I hope to see you again on our next lesson.